the intensity scale, you are not mixing black or white, okay? You need two hues, okay? You need two hues, not black and white. On each one, you need two hues. And what's the combination of those two hues are something called complementary hues, okay? So complementary, anybody knows what is complementary means? They are opposite on color wheel. So for example, if you choose green, green's complementary color is red. Okay, if you choose blue, blue's complementary color is orange. If you choose violet, complementary color is yellow. Same thing to tertiary hues. If you choose yellow green, complementary color is red violet. Right? Blue green to red orange, blue violet to red yellow orange. So it's always opposite. That's called the complementary colors. Okay. So if I choose red, what is a complementary hue of red? Red and green. Nothing else. Okay. Don't add black or white. You need only those two for intensity scale. Okay, so if you have red and green, okay. So pure red goes to one side of 7. So put the red here as pure red. Okay. Don't add anything, just a small amount of water, possibly painting over a few times. Okay. And if you have two brushes, that makes it much easier. But let's say this end, you paint the pure green. I used to get the permanent green medium, and then somehow they switched to permanent green light, which I always feel it's a little bit too light. Okay, so looks like a Mexican flag or something. What is the color combination of Mexican flag? Anybody remember? Now, what you do is you have to make this exactly middle, okay? Means you have to mix these two complementary hues, okay? When you make those two complementary hues, typically looks like a muddy brown. Right? If it's brown, maybe that's still have a little bit more content of red, because brown can be dark red, right? So I would still keep adding the green to make it less brown until I find this is something exactly in between. So what's going on is those two hues are canceling each other because they were very strong colors. When you are adding those two different colors, they were starting to fight and they are starting to cancel. That eventually the saturation or intensity of those two pure red and green become diminished by being mixed with totally opposite color on the color wheel. Okay, looks like it's becoming a little bit more green. So I'm surprised green is not as strong as red. And I'm warning, just if you use a paintbrush to mix those two hues, there's always differences between tip of the brush and the bottom of the brush. Okay, just make sure you mix well. Okay, and I feel confident enough to paint here in the middle. I may have to do adjustment afterwards. All right. Confusing thing is, again, color shifts a little bit between when it's wet and when it's dry. So you may paint and just wait a little bit because the hue may get shifted a little bit when it's dry. So don't get too judgmental at the beginning. Let's paint over one more time. Do you think this is closer to red or closer to green? I know it's from video, it's difficult. Does it look like green or looks like red? What I'm trying to do here is something called neutral gray. Neutral gray is basically, it's totally neutral, means there is no strong affiliation to any of those two pure hues, okay? So in this case, probably I should still add bigger content of green to make it more neutral. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna paint over with a little bit more green content of the paint. I know it's from a video, it looks like a little bit more brown, but for me, it looks starting to look a little bit more green. Okay, so here is something, you try to make it exactly in the middle. And these two are gradually having more green content. Okay, and here this side is going more with red content. Okay, so I'm gonna start with adding more green. To this one. Maybe I added too much green at this point, I don't know. I think I made too big difference. That means I can add a little bit more red. So I can. Okay, and next one here, more green, but not pure green. So I'm making this transition from neutral gray to green. Let's work on opposite side. From neutral gray adding a little bit more red content. It's too much water. More paint. Okay. And more red, but not pure red here. Okay, it's still a little bit watery, but you can see that now this one no longer looks like green. I mean, no longer looks like brown, because this is more like brown, and this one now looks like something in between green and red, right? So idea of intensity scale is these two pure hues are gradually mixed to make this 5, and the middle here has to be exactly between those two hues. Okay, so if you keep painting, your intensity scale start to be a little bit darker like this. But again, middle has to be exactly in between, and gradual shift to red, gradual shift to green. You can do any hues. This looks like a blue here, gosh, but this is violet, okay? Looks, in the monitor, looks like, the screen looks like wow, that's too much color shift between actual and video. But yellow and violet are gradually mixed here. Okay. If it's this is orange, looks like yellow orange, but this is orange. That goes to blue. Okay, so this one has three different combination of complementary hues as intensity scale, right? But each one was done in the same manner, just two hues of complementary, and they were mixed to make this transition. Again, you can do any complementary color combination, but I think it's easier if you have those colors straight out of a tube, so you don't have to pre-mix. Okay, if you have a freedom to do yellow orange to red violet, for example, I mean yellow orange to blue violet if you want, but you have to make exactly yellow orange for each time, and blue violet same proportion of the color in the mixture each time. So it's a little bit more difficult, but you can do it. Okay, so all I'm requesting is 2 of these. So color board has color wheel here, and then you guys starting to work value scale here. After that, you'll be working on 2 intensity scale.